What's up with it, man? It's the Bronco at the front coming at you with another reaction video. I want to apologize up front to my L Tree boys because a lot of y'all wanted me to react to Hugo Sanchez. Y'all been begging me to react to of his highlights and everything. But here I am. I say, man, forget the highlights. I want to learn about his story. I want to learn about how he came up. I want to learn about what the hell he all about. And that leads us to my boy Raymar Football. You already know. Go subscribe to that, man. He dropped the best narrations out. He made a video how a striker who refused to dribble outscored everybody. And he said literally, Hugo Sanchez, L Tree. Let's see where it go down.
Tap-in merchant. Have you ever heard
that boy Hugo was a tap-in merchant?
For the last several years, it's been a term used to describe poachers who are only effective in the box, barely dribbling or creating goals for themselves.
That's how they say about Erling.
Simply score easy goals by tapping them in. It's been used to describe players like Erling Haaland and, well, according to this definition on Urban Dictionary, Cristiano Ronaldo.
What? Oh, trolls. Boy, I'm finna say, man, see y'all football, that's why, man, I can't stand y'all at with y'all trolling and whatnot.
However, if you define a tap-in merchant simply by a footballer who only scores goals with a single touch, then it might not be wrong to say that this striker in the 1980s is the greatest tap-in merchant of all time.
Real Tree boys, Hugo Sanchez. He say he's the... So, basically, if he would have played today, everybody on Twitter would have been calling that boy a tap-in merchant and not giving him his props. That's how you know social media done destroy ball. Even through all sports, social media destroyed the discourse. Man, if back in the day existed today, these legends wouldn't be as legendary as they was. Thierry Henry is a big example. I heard he disappeared in a lot of big games. That's what Twitter told me. Don't attack the messenger.
That is, if you consider these one-touch goals as tap-ins.
Boom! Oh, that's not a tap-in. And he hit a front flip. That ain't no tap-in either. That's a sickle.
Because believe it or not, Hugo Sanchez was such an excellent striker with such incredible aim and touch that he didn't need to be fast, nor did he even need to dribble the ball. Because all he truly needed to score was literally a single touch. So dominant and efficient that it only took that one moment of contact with the ball for him to lead La Liga in scoring for nearly 5 consecutive seasons.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So this ain't no one-time thing. This ain't no one-hitter quitter. He say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive seasons he led the La Liga in scoring.
In a row. As he would even go on to lead the entire continent of Europe in scoring, with literally every single goal he scored.
Boy, look at these goddamn booty shorts.
Literally,
damn, boys back in the day ain't had no, man.
Every single goal he scored coming from just a single touch. And if you combine the Pichichi awards of Ronaldo, Luis Suarez, Karim Benzema, and Samuel Eto'o, you still wouldn't surpass the number of goal-scoring awards that Hugo Sanchez had. But as legendary as he was, it's a shame just how criminally underrated the man is.
Yeah, because I don't really hear a lot, sorry for pausing, but I don't really hear a lot of people talk about Hugo Sanchez except the L Tree boys, man. So
perhaps had he been born in Europe or maybe even South America, his name would be coming up non-stop in goal-scoring conversation simply out of pure respect. But despite growing up all the way in Mexico City, Hugo Sanchez was destined to respect. But despite growing up all the way in Mexico City, Hugo Sanchez was destined to be a goal-scoring artist. Because his father was a former professional footballer in Mexico who had surrounded Hugo with the game his whole life, while his sister would end up becoming an Olympic-level gymnast, helping the young Hugo gain incredible strength, flexibility, and ability ever since he was a kid, growing up with an incredibly unique developmental skill set, which perhaps set him apart from any other footballing prodigy who grew up solely on the foundations of football alone. Because whether he knew it at the time or not, Sanchez would later use this never-before-seen combination of sports to become one of the most unique and thrilling goal scorers in football history.
Hugo
His talent was recognized so
Gymnastics
early that at the age of 14, he would already be training with a football club that represented Mexico's national university, as someone who would just barely be old enough to enter high school. And at the age of 16, he would already be called up to represent his country, even going on to score a hat-trick against Costa Rica in the Pan American Games and return home to Mexico with a gold medal.
At 16 years old? He out here dropping hat tricks for the national team?
If he was doing this at the time in Europe or maybe in certain South American countries, the whole
Hold on, did he say gold medal?
Costa Rica in the Pan American Games and returned home to Mexico with a gold medal.
I thought it was
if he was doing this at the time in Europe or maybe in certain South American countries, the whole world would be on notice. However, at the very least, the people of Mexico knew that a young world-class superstar striker was in the making. As a teenager would represent that a young
that weak ass celebration. Look, hey, he hit the little gymnast celebration.
Their country in the 1976 Olympics, managing to be Mexico's only ray of sunshine, even scoring against the biggest footballing countries and players in the world, like Michel Platini. Then in the very following year, win the CONCACAF Championship for his country, securing Mexico's spot in the next World Cup. And shortly after, he would officially join the National University of Mexico's first team, helping the club win its first ever Primera Division title. Then going on to lead the Mexican League in scoring at just 20 years old. And through the first few seasons of his professional adult footballing career, Sanchez would play non-stop year-round football, being loaned off in the off-season to the San Diego Sockers in the North American Soccer League.
This is the most, like you said, North American Soccer League. This is the most MLS ass. Well, of course it wasn't MLS. It was, like I say, North American Soccer League. But this is the most American goddamn team name ever. The San Diego Sockers. It's low-key kind of catchy, though. The Sockers. We got to play the Sockers next week.
Diego Sockers in the North American Soccer League, which was basically the MLS back in the day, where he would go on to average nearly a goal a game, scoring 12 goals in 17 appearances in his first loan, then 14 goals in 15 appearances in his second.
Hey, do you see the
perhaps
highlights?
To the American League and absolutely destroying everyone at the age of 21 was what it took to get enough publicity to finally attract clubs in Europe's top flight, a place where Hugo and his goal-scoring talent truly belonged. Because Atletico Madrid would now take a chance at the young Mexican
So that's
star
who he played for?
with his first full season in a new country and a new continent with much higher quality players. The 23-year-old would score the third highest goals in the league, even ahead of
first season at that hole. The above Diego Maradona. Damn, boy, that crazy, right? Well, he did play 33. He did play 11 more games.
Argentinian legends like Diego Maradona and Mario Kempes, helping his club finish third in La Liga. A major jump from their 8th place finish just one season before. But it was really in the 1984-85 season that Hugo Sanchez had finally broken out as a true goal-scoring star, as Sanchez would lead La Liga in scoring and help his club win its first Copa del Rey in 9 years, with the striker scoring 2 goals in their narrow 2-1 win in the final.
He getting up there for the bicycle kicks.
On notice that he was up next and he would be a goal-scoring monster to come for the next several years. He continued to become even better. He would begin to adapt to the competition in Spain and was just so skilled with his positioning, shooting, and aim that he would slowly begin to gain the reputation as a striker who didn't need to dribble the ball.
He don't.
Just like I mentioned in the beginning,
ball, hit
if you
ball.
consider a tap-in as scoring a goal with just your first touch, then Hugo Sanchez was the best to ever do it.
But the thing is, these don't, I'm on these highlights, I'm not even seeing tap-ins. He see the ball no matter what position it is, he knocking that hole.
Football. And if you ever wondered why he had such a unique style of play, it really goes all the way back to his unique foundations with gymnastics. Because it was that foundation that would help Sanchez gain an incredible arsenal of goal-scoring abilities that almost all strikers before him and even after had just never seemed to grasp. The first would be his body control and flexibility. Because gymnastics demands an elite level of body control and flexibility, it would reflect greatly on Sanchez. Because his capacity to contort his body in seemingly impossible ways gave him the edge in the crowded box, allowing him to adjust his body position swiftly, turning half chances into spectacular goals.
Yeah, the way he could contort his body kind of crazy.
And dominance. Even though he was only 5'9" or 174 meters tall, he was still able to completely dominate in the air. This was because he was just so athletic that he could make acrobatic leaps to head the ball from even the most hard-to-reach or poorly aimed crosses. And
hey, he low-key got some hang time on that jump right there.
From
Look at
even
this.
the most hard-to-reach or poorly aimed crosses. And one thing that Hugo Sanchez was more elite than probably any other footballer in history was the overhead or bicycle kick.
Bicycle
that
kick.
Acrobatic athleticism
I done
just
seen
made
a
him
lot of
so elite at doing it. His balance, aerial ability, and flexibility made him one of the most accurate bicycle kick strikers of all time. Because even if defenders had a height or physical advantage on him, there was no way they could head the ball higher than Hugo Sanchez could strike it with a bicycle kick. And many of you don't realize how difficult it is to head a ball off a fast coming cross. It takes elite positioning and balancing to master.
timing.
You have to know where you're positioned and adjust to the ball, all while keeping your eyes locked to it at all times. Like honestly, even in my playing days as a forward, heading was definitely my weakest attribute. But of course, you can't do anything I just previously mentioned without having some incredible precision and timing. And it was Sanchez's understanding of his positioning, not only on the pitch, but for his body. Whether it was to go for a jump, stick his foot out for a volley, or dive in for a second chance strike, that made him so deadly. Because when you add timing to everything I mentioned, defenders had no chance of seeing it coming, as Sanchez would seemingly time and time again come out of nowhere to finish off the goal. Because he would hardly dribble, defenders would often lose him from his off-ball movement. In fact, it was because of the elite acrobatic ability he developed from his gymnastics foundation that he would popularize doing a backflip as a goal celebration. Because just like how a gymnast finished off their routine with a backflip ability he developed from his gymnastics foundation that he would popularize doing a backflip as a goal celebration.
That is not a backflip,
because just like how a gymnast finished off their routine with a grandiose pose, Hugo Sanchez would finish off his goals with his showmanship and entertaining celebrations. But of course, all the gymnastic foundation wouldn't translate much without some incredible football skill.
I was gonna say, I'm trying to analyze the celebration right now, bro. I feel like if he just did a regular just run and then front flip without his head touching the ground, it would have been more swaggy.
Celebrations. But of course, all the gymnastic foundation wouldn't.
It is now that one went hard. He hit the hell out of this.
But of course, all the gymnastic foundation wouldn't translate much without some incredible football skill as well. Sanchez had one of the best first touches of any striker who's ever lived. Sure, maybe his dribbling wasn't as amazing as Ronaldo the Phenomenon.
Don't need to be.
Without a doubt, the way that he could control the ball and place it exactly where he wanted to, just off of his first touch, is arguably second to none. Whether it be from a pass, off a deflection, or coming from the air, his elite first touch could either trap and control the ball, bringing it right into the perfect spot for a strike, or much more simply, become a perfectly placed strike. But make no mistake, his shooting and aim was still absolutely elite and full of technique. Because while he's famously known for being a one-touch goal-scoring monster, the guy had incredible technique even when it came to free kicks.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of free kicks on
still one touch, knowing how to consistently bend them over defenders and into
that angle.
Plus, if he ever needed to create his own goal, he could definitely score some absolute long-range rockets as well. And while he did have more than decent dribbling, it just simply wasn't the style he preferred. Plus, when it came to his penalty-taking ability, he was genuinely one of the best in history.
Shit, I was finna say, bro, if you bring up everything that we just talked about and seen, penalties is a definition of one touch, one score. You already know that boy ain't missing no damn pin.
He was genuinely one of the best in history, scoring an insane 73 out of 75 penalties he took in his career.
He only missed 2 penalties in his whole career. That is goddamn wicked.
That is an insane 97% accuracy.
Top 3
not only shows his incredible
time.
aim and placement, but also his cool and calm composure, which helped him become an absolute goal-scoring monster of a unique style and talent to the likes of which the game had never seen before or after. It was after his first Pichichi Trophy winning season as the top goal scorer in Spain that clubs would go to war to sign him onto their squad, even having strong interest from clubs like Bayern Munich. But without a doubt, it was a battle between Barcelona and Real Madrid to get his signature. It would take a lot of drama and outrage from Atletico fans who accused the club's management of directly doing negotiation talks with their bitter rivals Real Madrid for their beloved star striker.
He pulled a Figo.
Backlash being so bad that they had to stage a multi-club deal just to avoid traces of a direct trade.
So he pulled a Figo, but they the club pulled a Figo. Well, the club directly, they said they did it.
His Sanchez's rights back to his former club of the National University of Mexico before they would turn around and sell him to Real Madrid at an even higher cost.
Okay, so he technically didn't pull the Figo. The clubs pulled the Figo, but Atletico, they slick. He said, all right, we go send him back to Mexico, and y'all send him to Real Madrid, and then we get our goddamn profits.
250 million Spanish pesos. But it would be all worth it, as Los Blancos now had the hottest and most unusual striker in the world. Because after half a decade of not having their hands on the La Liga title, as soon as Hugo Sanchez joined the club in the 1985-86 season, Real Madrid would win an incredible 5 consecutive La Liga titles, making the club so dominant it would take Barcelona and Johan Cruyff forming their iconic dream team just to put an end to Real Madrid's reign of terror and Hugo Sanchez's absolute dominance. Hugo Sanchez would win the Pichichi Trophy and lead the league in scoring for 3 consecutive seasons, which, if you count his final season with Atletico Madrid, actually made it 4 Pichichi Trophy winning seasons in a row, the most consecutive ever done, before Lionel Messi would win 5 in a row
before
from
that boy
2017 to 2021. In fact, the one season after his 4th consecutive win, he actually scored the 2nd highest goals in the league. But it would only be a single season after that 2nd place finish that Hugo Sanchez would win his 5th and final Pichichi Trophy, being named not only the top scorer in Spain, but winning the European Golden Shoe as the top scorer of the entire continent, as he would go on to score an insane 45 goals in 47 matches, a record that wouldn't be beaten until Cristiano Ronaldo outscored him in the 2010-2011 season. But without a doubt, the most impressive thing about that season was that he would score 38 out of those 45 goals with a single touch, a record I'm confident we might never see again. And if not for that 1 second place finish, the man could have had an insane all-time record of 6 Pichichi trophies in a row, winning a total of 5 league titles, 3 Spanish Super Cups, 1 Copa del Rey, and 1 UEFA Cup in his 7 seasons with Real Madrid. And it wasn't until his 7th and final year with the club, at nearly 35 years old, that he would start to show signs of slowing down.
I'm glad that I finally found the story of like somebody having success without injuries hindering that career, bro. It's refreshing for real.
Bouncing around a few more clubs until he would finally retire. But despite his already older age, he would lead Mexico to the final of the 1993 Copa America, scoring a brace in the semifinal before eventually losing to a much stronger Argentina squad.
I knew it was Argentina.
Despite Mexico being a weaker team in most international tournaments during his prime, Hugo Sanchez was the pride of the nation, being the first to put such highly regarded respect on his country's footballing talent, scoring a total of 515 goals during his career and being widely regarded as the greatest Mexican footballer of all time.
Bro, not only the greatest Mexican footballer, I'm pretty sure he's the greatest CONCACAF footballer of all time at this point. That boy, I ain't know, you feel me? I ain't know y'all had somebody over there who was moving weight like these overseas now. That boy in Europe leading the goddamn leading scorer in Europe, winning all these trophies. I did not know y'all had somebody like that. Hey, Hugo Sanchez, I see why y'all told me to react to bro. You already know Jorge Campos is my favorite Mexican player of all time. Hugo Sanchez up there now. They battling it out. They fighting. But I still got it to Jorge for me, man. I'm out.